Oh, good.
Yeah, I also took Gamers Rant, asked a bunch of comic book shops.
I read that.
I took those quotes too because
good.
I feel like they're important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was crazy. That Mahide thing was crazy.
Well, it's appropriate, honestly.
No, I mean the whole darn thing's crazy. But there's Dark Mark.
Oh,
Mark, what's going on? Oh my gosh, do you have a Credible Hulk shirt? Well, my man always cites his sources.
There you go.
I love it.
Sweet.
That's
I wish I had saw this.
I had to do some research for those action figure stuff. I don't know anything about action figures, so so I decided to wear the shirt.
Did you like the '90s cartoon?
It was okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
But then again,
I think you and I are a little old for that show. I was in college when it was on.
I was already out of college.
You were. It's not My Amazing Friends, but
no,
it is for a lot of people. It is though. Wait, we got Bob Jones. What's going on, Bob? We got SoFlo. Hello. So we're about 6 minutes early. We're waiting for the others to come in. So Kelly and I were like, might as well have people start coming in.
Yeah.
And then Mark showed up.
Yep. Well, I was like checking my email and I actually got a reply back. I'm shocked, but they don't know what I'm talking about. For my sleuthing, my internet sleuthing.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. JP, what's up?
Yeah.
Peter Palmer, God damn good to see
Peter
you
Palmer.
too.
So it'll be fun.
Yep, we're talking about GOG in this episode.
I got puns.
Oh, you do?
I looked, remember, so yesterday I said I was going to look through Bible hymns and song lyrics and find anything that I could replace GOG with that related. Nice. So I've got it.
Who's on your shirt? Is that Farrah Fawcett? I'm trying to see who
So it's Blondie. So
Blondie.
This came from out of print. It's Rico Renzi's shirt line. Okay. And he did a photo manipulation of Spider-Gwen, but with Blondie on the face.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that's Spider-Gwen as played by Blondie. That's
played by Blondie. I don't know. I kind of like the idea.
I guess I can see her swinging through New York City with Heart of Glass in the background being played.
Yeah.
Yes, Ryan, this is going to be the GOG show. We're going to review this issue right here, number 43. This will be the first hour, if not shorter. But knowing these people, it will be a full hour.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to the two geek girls about these last two issues, and when I was talking, I was like, "Yeah, issues 42, 43," and then I was like, "Wait, I gotta say what version because." If you just type in Amazing Spider-Man 42, 43, you get a personally my favorite issues, but
you get Face of Tiger. Issues. You get Face of Tiger with 42, yeah.
You get their first date-ish. Yeah.
He puts her on the back. Where do they go on their first date? He puts her on the back of his moped and they drive off somewhere.
So I think that they were supposed to I gotta pull up 43 because I've got it, but it's in my stuff.
The Mary Jane date?
Yeah, so I think they were going to the coffee bean.
Because they were going to go see the Rhino. News reports about the Rhino, so they went there.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice. George, you get to shave your head? You look fresh and clean.
Yeah, I had to clean up. I got a video interview this week at some point.
My man.
So went ahead and got my hair did.
But your hair did, trimmed up the beard?
And by hair did, it means I just shaved my head.
So I was telling Kelly, I hung something up behind me. Here, I'll full screen myself.
What's up, everyone? By the way,
look behind me on my door back there. Do you see what it is?
Yeah, it's the old. Isn't it the original Spider-Man costume that they say that like Ditko?
No. It's not that old. It's not from the 50s. That's from the 70s. That's what I used to wear in the 70s to trick or treat in.
It looked black. Wait, go back to it. Let me see. Maybe I was looking.
It's got red. It's got web pits.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maybe that's where I got my love of web pits right there. Look at those giant web pits. Anyway, it used to be hung right over there, and I'm like, I got a dead spot, so I'll put it right over my head. So there you go.
What's up, Alfred? I'm glad you're still alive.
Well, thank you, George. I appreciate that. I like your Alice reference on your name there.
Oh yeah,
no problem.
Can you sing? Can you sing the theme song of Alice, George?
Yeah, no. Alfred, we need to talk about your punk son.
Yeah, I heard he kicked your rear end.
Game night. He didn't kick my rear end. He didn't kick my rear end. I beat him like a narc at a biker rally.
Whoa, hey, whoa, hey.
Listen. All right, listen. No, you need to get your house in order. All right.
Well, there's Mike. Here, let me send Mike.
Because when he acts that way in public, people are going to be like, "Well, I blame the parents," and I mean, they'd be kind of right to. So
that's funny. So let's see. I sent the invite to Mike, and let's see when he comes in.
Okay. Damn it! I dropped all this cool anti-Grant stuff, and he's not even in the chat to hear it.
He was last night. He was on there last night.
He will be. I'll tell him to get on.
You missed a good show. You missed a good show, George, about the Kindred. I almost said the GOG theory.
I was in.
Kindred is GOG.
What is GOG? What if GOG was one of us?
I thought you were about to go, what if GOG, baby, don't hurt me? And I was going to reach through here.
Baby, don't hurt me. Now I got it in my head. Don't hurt me.
Don't
no
have
more.
That in your, no.
What was it last night, Ashley? I mean, Kelly, what was the song that we sang? It was, I think I surprised you with knowing more than one lyric. What was it?
Oh, yeah. Say my name.
Say my name. Say my name when no one is around you. Come on, Ashley, you know it.
I am famously awful with song lyrics. I'm terrible with music in general. It's bad.
It's okay.
I got one of David Bowie's songs confused for Here Comes the Sun.
Oh, that's a Beatles tune.
My friend had to tell me who Kurt Cobain was. She threw something at me.
We can't be friends anymore, Ashley.
I'm sorry. I'm musically not.
You're just musically not.
That's no, it's okay.
Hey,
it's okay. Not everybody can be cool.
Whoa, Mike, what's up with the beard? What happened?
Whoa.
Your mic's broke, but your face broke out with hair.
It's like Mirror Universe.
It's like Mirror Spock.
It's Mike from the Darkest Timeline.
Yeah.
No, Mike. No, Mike.
We can't hear you at all.
No, Mike. Oh, look at this, George. Grant Alford, I have been summoned.
Oh, man.
Okay, number one, you're not Beetlejuice, all right? So stop giving yourself that much credit, Alford. All right. Number two, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like Grant Alford is herpes. We're just sort of stuck.
Oh, come on.
Hey, whoa.
Right.
Mark is going to give you a pounding down in the basement if you aren't careful. Man. Yeah, boom. That's WWF.
You can hear me now? Okay.
Oh, yeah, there you are.
As I was about to explain, this is what happens when you basically are living with going under quarantine and you kind of forget, like, oh, maybe I should shave once in a while. And maybe just like.
This is like what it's like to live without a razor.
Are you sure you haven't been replaced by your evil clone?
Hey, Jack.
Pretty sure. Yeah. Last time I checked. But yeah,
that's what evil clones would say.
Yeah.
Oh, of course they would.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Because
been playing any
even the hair,
lately?
I
was gonna say even the hair
quarantine.
You got
the
good
nice
follicle,
COVID.
Man. Don't mess with it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I got the nice COVID hairstyle thing, and plus
everyone's
the mullet
just
going
doing
in
like
the back.
80s flashbacks.
Oh yeah,
80s hair.
Peter wants to know if you stole your son's Ethernet cable still, Mark.
Oh yeah, I got it.
George, that was his trick. He plugged directly into the router, and his signal is much better instead of running off the Wi-Fi.
Good.
Grant says, "Yeah, he did, Peter."
Good. Maybe by you having it and not your son, it'll limit the amount of embarrassment he can bring to your family.
No. Oh, Ashley, look at that.
Man.
That's funny.
Yes.
Whoa, I got Jay. Whoa, wait a minute.
Redecorating.
What?
There we go.
Got JR just showed up. Hold on. Who was Mark? I think I messed up.
Do I need to step out?
Yeah, I think I'm sorry, dude. Mike is
well, it's good seeing you, Mark.
I'm done for news, aren't you? You just want to do review.
Yeah, I'm just a review thing.
Mark, I'm sorry.
I got to cut out like between 8 and 8:30. So
okay,
glad you could be here for your son to get insulted.
Yeah.
Wait. Alfred's got stuff where he's supposed to cover.
In news he does, but not for
the news.
Oh,
yeah.
JR, I'll get you in just a second.
So what? We just boot him into the chat. What, did you overbook us? Is that what happened?
Well, Mark asked me if he shows up later, and I forgot that I already
got voted off the island.
I'm sorry.
I'd want to keep
voted off Spider Island.
All right, hold on. Nope, he left.
Wow.
And there's JR.
There we go.
I was about to say, you could boot me. You're only talking about one issue, right?
Yeah.
Ashley's doing it. And,
no, it's okay. Mike is stepping out on the next show, and
Mark is
coming on the next one.
And then
JR, what's up with your webcam? It looks very fuzzy.
I don't know.
It's a soft glow.
He's got a filter.
That 80s light.
He has it under quarantine. He's put a little
JR After Dark. Whoa.
He hasn't cleaned the camera in 5 years.
Oh yeah, that actually looks better, even though it's darker. Can you open the iris on the webcam at all?
Mm-hmm.
Coming to you live from Richard Parker's underground lab.
How's that Windows 95 computer? No, JR, that's okay. It's okay.
You're fine, dude. You're fine.
It just got a little
it's good.
low. Okay.
Well,
Ashley, when'd you get the pillow? That looks awesome.
I've had it. It's just always been on the other side of my room.
Oh, wait a minute. I know what it is.
What, this whole time? Like the whole 5+ years you've been with us?
Yes.
You just moved the pillow.
Never once thought, hey, this pillow is topical?
This pillow's topical.
I'm just like, if this is going to be a money spot, I can at least
Ryan says JR is glowing.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's talking about Ashley. They're both glowing. Brad needs a reservation book. I need ability to get more than 6 cams on here, which I would like.
Well, what about Zoom? Well, you got Zoom.
We'd have to go. We'd have to move to Zoom for that.
Yeah, but Zoom. I don't think you can do. I've already paid for this one for a year, so I'm good.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough.
I don't think I can put the YouTube comments on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know if you can either. That's a good point.
Ashley is being radiant. There you go.
There you go, Ryan.
What's up, Fitz, man? Hey, how are you, buddy? Chi-Town says, Grant, I'm making your dad a 50-foot Ethernet cable. There you go. McNulty looks like a 90s grunge musician.
Funny enough, I grew up with grunge music, so that's probably not far wrong.
I expect Mike to be opening up for Courtney Love next week.
Oh yes, I'm in the area where grunge music was born. So
there
you go.
He's happy to be on this one. It's his 3rd live stream he's interacted with today.
Nice.
Today,
wow.
On 3 live streams. Venkman, you get around. All right, is everybody ready?
Yep.
So.
And Mike, when you got to go?
Probably right after whenever we get done. Probably like about maybe between 8 and 8:30, hopefully. So yeah.
So 30 minutes from now is what you're saying?
Are we just doing the review right now, and then we're bringing
Yes, we're bringing Mark in for the news.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Coming down. 3, 2. Hey, Crawlspacers, welcome to our single issue of Amazing, because that's all that shipped. Let's introduce the panel. We got George Kiss My Grits Berriman. What's up, George?
Hello.
All right, we have Ashley.
No, look, I can't be on all the time. All right, Brad. I've been up since like 6 o'clock in the morning.
All right, Ashley, what's going on? You and your new spider pillow in the background. I love it.
It's not new. It's just in a new place.
Nice. We have JR After Dark. What's going on, JR?
Well, I'm trying to show myself in the best possible light, and the only way to do that is to make it as dark as possible.
Okay.
Shouldn't it be JR Turn Off the Dark in honor of the Spider-Man musical?
I love it. We have Kelly with a neon sign in the background that says rad. What's going on, Kelly?
Rad. Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. And for those wondering, tell me about the t-shirt you're wearing.
Okay, so it's from Rico Renzi's little shirt line that he does. Rico Renzi, obviously the colorist and artist for original Spider-Gwen. So he has got a little photo manipulation of Spider-Gwen with the face and head of Debbie Harry from Blondie.
Which is kind of cool. I think that's really
cool.
neat. Very neat.
I like it.
And we have Mike, hasn't shaved in a month, McNulty. What's going on, Mike?
Well, to quote a famous author, the reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. If you can do bonus points for you, the folks that do actually guess who the author of that was, which I'm sure most of you intelligent people do. So
I have
to be back on.
I have to insist that anytime we go over to Mike for the rest of the evening while he's with us, we have to say something cool like, "How you doing, Chewbacca?" or something like that. And then Mike can just go, because he's so hairy right now.
You know, like that, the whole thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you nerf herder. Okay. Adam says Debbie Harry is cool.
Debbie Harry is cool.
Another song besides Heart of Glass. What's another Blondie song? I'm trying to think.
One Way or Another.
Oh, gosh.
Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Rapture. Touched by Your Presence Here.
Yeah.
I can't name them offhand.
Call Me.
Call Me. Tide is High.
Yeah.
Dude, I was big into Blondie back in the day, Jomo.
We can tell. We can tell, George.
Big into
In fact, you can rattle them off like that.
That Debbie Harry's, I mean, she's like a phenomenal singer, though.
Yeah.
I mean, she really is.
You have George, you can make everyone look amazing by comparison. Oh, wow. Grant Alford's after you.
Ooh,
wow.
Okay.
Walking record, so I've not seen before on the live stream, says I did not like 844. The stuff Boomerang has been very goofy. Spencer tries to break up the main story with one-off miniseries or mini stories, but it doesn't feel natural. Hopefully Sin Eater is good. And Adam says the hanging on the telephone cover.
Yeah, because
and Taz says hello. What's up, Taz? I don't think I've seen you before, but
hey,
that's
Taz.
awesome. Hey. Okay, so who's got this one? I think it's Ashley.
It's me.
All right, Ashley, we are going to review Amazing Spider-Man
as our resident #1 GOG fan.
Yes.
There he is in all his glory. Shock and gog me.
No.
With the Thanos skin and everything.
Oh man, here they come.
No.
Here they come.
No.
In GOG we trust.
No.
All right, recap.
What if GOG was one of them?
No.
Kelly has a spreadsheet of puns, which I appreciate.
I do. I'm just waiting for the right moment to use them.
Mm-hmm.
Use them to your heart's content.
It's like, no, puns are like, remember like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, and he's like, your scientists spend all the time wondering if they could. They didn't stop and think whether or not they should.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's
but do you know the
here.
plot of Jurassic Park, George? They did it anyways.
and people died.
Those are the best parts of the movie.
No, when the lawyer gets it on the bathroom. Oh, yeah.
I know.
No, right? Okay, 844. Take me through this goddamn issue.
No.
All right.
No.
So we open in kind of a weird spot back on GOG's original home planet where his boy was just killed and shot down. And we see him being shipped back to Earth and how he got back to the sewer where he's at, where he just, all he could do was hide the piece of the tablet he was entrusted with and hide all alone by himself for years and years.
Ashley's getting emotional.
This issue gets me very emotional.
Well, it's the Ashley's going to be a mom, at some point, pretty soon down the road. There may be, the mom gene may already be kicking in, and she's like, oh my God, somebody just hugged GOG.
I'll have my own little bundle of GOG.
But it's a space puppy.
No, he's a sentient being. He's capable. He's capable of he's capable of thought. Like he thinks in sentences, and like he's got He's like
sapiens.
He's like a. It's like adopting. It's like you're adopting like an Ewok, calling it a pet, and I'm like, no, this is it. They have culture.
Ewoks are great. Ewoks are great.
George, you're like 20 pages ahead. We'll get there.
We're on page 1 in the sewer, George.
We're still in the sewer. Get back in the sewer. All right. So we're now back in the sewer.
Okay, we're in the sewer right here.
Now that Peter has caught us up with the entire GOG flashback that ripped my heart out and tore it in two.
So let's recap. 1 page equals all of last issue. Okay,
yes.
Just checking.
And some of what happened what we didn't see in last issue too, because you got the Baxter building right there, and so it's showing how GOG got to the sewers and all that other stuff.
Yeah, got back. Yeah.
Yeah, but continue.
Yeah, and so Boomerang has the brilliant idea. Oh, we have the tablet piece, so let's go ahead and run. And and it initiates his Gog boots. Yeah, that one's a little bit of much of a stretch.
You're better. You're better than that.
Good. No, it was perfect. It was perfect.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. But he, in his haste, just goes straight up, not really realizing, oh, it can follow me. And so Gog bursts through the streets and goes full Gogzilla and starts wreaking havoc on people in the streets. Here, of course, his responsibility complex kicks in, and I'm glad he's exhibiting a little bit of self-awareness there. I'm happy for his growth. But it turns out Wilson Fisk is magically right there.
Yeah. Because he's the mayor.
And helicopters at the ready that he somehow managed to assemble. I guess knowing that, hey, everyone, there's a giant semi-sentient being living under our sewers, and we gotta see it.
Okay, all right, though, but like, thanks to recent current events, mayors can, get that real fast. So
can they do it on the merit of a giant semi-sapient being living in the sewers?
This is in New York with the Baxter Building.
That's fair. Okay. I just believe
that Ashley's line about the boots are pretty funny.
Mm-hmm, they were. Yes.
And Spider-Man wants to know why there's been no Lady Gaga pun yet.
Now there is.
Now there is.
Because it makes Jesus cry. That's why.
I mean, I did kind of have a little bit I considered doing where I was going to go through the opening of Bad Romance, but replacing all the raw ahs with Gog. But I don't like singing in public, so just imagine what could have been.
God is dead by Nietzsche.
This whole thing is like one big ongoing kick to the Tic Tacs. The whole thing.
Good.
Do you need to see a doctor?
Thank you.
Oh gosh.
This is
Doctor.
I hate you.
Anyway, Fisk is there, ready to go Godfather on God.
Godfather.
Oh man.
And they start shooting the precious little baby. And Spider-Man, man of my heart, gets all defensive and protective and is like, yeah, he's a giant monster, but he's my giant monster, God damn it. And we're forced to see Gog running away in fear and crying. He's getting shot at.
Your internet's breaking up.
Oh no!
I mean, Ashley was so distraught
and helicopters and Gatling guns.
Your internet is
got to step in.
No.
Do you have a gigabit connection?
Oh gosh!
Goggle.
He is crying. But anyway, so Spidey takes down the helicopters and pulls them down and starts yelling at Fisk like, hey, he's just confused. He doesn't know what he's doing. And right in the middle of defending him, Gog smacks him into a wall. Boomerang steps in to help him out and throws his boomerang. And Gog sees it and flashes back to happier times when his boy would throw a special little alien boomerang thing. I don't really understand the aerodynamics of that thing, but hey,
it was a toy.
Yeah.
It was a Gog toy
that he would throw and play with him.
Different gravity, that sort of thing,
And so Gog flashes back to a happier time and is instantly in play mode. And he goes after the boomerang, catches it, and brings it back to Boomerang. And this gives Spidey an idea. He realizes, he wants to play. He's going to focus on the boomerang now. He tells him, go throw it in that truck. And that's when we get filled in. Oh, right. He was, Reed Richards gave him PIM particles. Mm-hmm. And so if he's able to get himself in a mindset where he can consciously will himself smaller again, then he won't be so big and terrifying anymore. And Gogzilla can now be Gogzuki.
Yeah.
So,
George, I think you liked that one. You nodded your head. Was that?
He did. He did.
He liked it.
I mean,
it
was a good reference.
I didn't like it. It's just that I like Godzuki from the old Godzilla cartoon. I have nostalgia for God's dookie.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
So don't take that nod as any kind of approval of any of the jackassery that's being perpetrated here. It's a throwback to my childhood that I'm not.
Ashley, when I read the part about the van, I don't know why in my brain I thought it was the same van from Endgame where the rat was in it. I'm like, how many vans can save the day?
Right?
Good catch, actually.
MacGuffin in Marvel.
You what?
The van. It's like the new MacGuffin, just like a
the van will save the day.
It's the new
time traveling van. We have a GOG shrinking van.
It's the new McGoggin.
He's doing it now.
There we go.
I'm just trying to fit in. It's
He's one of us now.
peer pressure. It's peer
One
pressure.
of us.
Toby says this is far more entertaining than the actual issue.
This is a soulful journey.
I'm about to say, Ashley's going to cut you.
Leave GOG alone.
Oh my god.
Aww.
But yeah, so of course, like the precious little sort of sentient being that he is, he goes after
He's part of an alien race. He's not an animal.
There's a quote.
He's taking a boomerang.
More puns Ashley does, the higher the number.
It's like asking, my Vulcan's getting older. Should we take him and have him put to sleep? No, because he's a person.
Okay, but are the Vulcans chasing after boomerangs and playing fetch with them?
JR, are you okay? There's no God signal out of you. Are you all right?
I don't need to. Any kind of contribution of mine would be redundant. It's all you guys are doing fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
JR's not a pet either.
For the love of God, get on with it. Okay, Enigma.
All right.
So GOG goes after the boomerang, which is one of Boomerang's special, has sleeping gas in it. And so it knocks him out, and they're able to take him in, and where Boomerang starts pressuring Spider-Man, like, hey, you know what I've been saying? Let's throw in a bit of an ethical quandary here of intergalactic ethics. And they take him in as their pet, and like any other pet, he sits on the couch and eats popcorn with them and watches movies, and is apparently like making eye contact with the screen, so we can kind of assume like he understands what's going on.
Well, I mean,
he is a sentient being.
He should dare, yeah.
Yeah. And Peter reflects on, this is kind of maybe something I've always needed, something that I can take care of, like this sort of pet child hybrid, I guess.
Which means it's going to be taken away.
Exactly.
Right when
especially after he says, "Oh, you know what? I have a lot in common with GOG. We both know what it's like to lose everything."
Wow.
Yeah.
And we have a very cute ending where they're all snuggled up together, and he's like, "You know what? This is pretty amazing."
So I'm going to
predict. It's ruined by the cover reveal of the next issue, which I hate. I hate how it makes me feel. It's icky, and I feel uncomfortable.
What's the next issue?
When we finally get answers to who the heck Kindred is, and maybe what's with the Seniors got to deal with all this stuff.
Where we have another throwback to the 90s, and Spider-Man has gone on an episode of Fear Factor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with all the bugs.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm predicting Ashley's grade is an A- or a G.
Dead on.
See, I've known you so long I can predict it. So let's go around the horn.
Predictable.
We got an A- out of Ashley. Mike, what's your grade?
I'm going to give this a B+.
Okay. JR.
I'm going to give it a D.
Ooh. George.
I give it a B+.
B+. Kelly.
Solid B, but I do want to give alternative titles to this. These are my GOG puns. We could call this issue Nearer My GOG to Thee, or GOG the Spirit Guide and Guardian. Because how shall they hear the word of GOG?
We could do all those things if we were.
Kelly, you forgot one.
We could do all that if we were terrible.
Which one?
People.
Hey, GOG. Are you there, GOG? It's me, Peter.
There we go. It works. It does work.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna give it a C- for me.
That's fair. I think it's fair.
Chat is blowing up with all the GOG laughing. There we go. Someone asked if this was the first time Peter's ever had a pet, and it's as far as I know, yes.
It's not a pet.
In comics, no, but if you're counting Spider-Man as Amazing Friends, kind of. If you're
well, that was Aunt May's dog. Aunt May had Miss Lion.
True. Yeah, true.
And I remember in Jenkins' run, there was a dog next door that watched him change clothing.
Baxter.
Oh, wow, JR. It was a German Shepherd, wasn't it? If I remember.
No, I don't think it was a German Shepherd. It looked like a Labrador or.
Okay.
I don't know, but anyway, there was always an implication that there was more to the dog than met the eye. But if whether or not Jenkins meant anything or not, obviously his run came to an end, and we never knew.
Adam says he remembers in Michelinie's run he referenced Peter having a dog when he was a kid. Wasn't there a backup with Uncle Ben taking him to the pound and
hang on, wait a minute, whoa. Did you say Baxter?
Mm-hmm. Backup issue, he said.
Okay, because we're talking about like the gal that during Jenkins' run, the gal that had the dog that like lived across the way.
Right.
Yeah,
that was Baxter.
And her name was Karen. I thought the dog's name was Barker.
It might have been Barker. Yeah, I think you're right.
Way to smack Spider Yoda around. Wow.
In his defense, it was a throwaway dog, and it was like almost 20
he was a
years
sentient being, George.
No, he was literally a pet. He was actually a pet, unlike this issue.
Peter Palmer says I was debating with my girlfriend a month ago if Peter was more of a cat or a dog person. Turns out he's a man of GOG.
Well, we all know that.
There you go.
Then we all know
This book is going up in grade if you guys keep up with the puns. I'm going up to a B- if you keep it up. Oh, Vinkman says the dog's name was Barker. There you go. GOG is kindred in disguise. There we go.
Oh, that'd be a twist.
Okay, Ashley, let's list your pros of your A- issue. Go ahead.
Pros, GOG. Need more pros than that. GOG, just GOG. I've fully embraced the following of GOG, and just how can you not feel moved? He doesn't understand what's going on. He just wants to feel love and to be safe and nurtured. So yeah, this got to me a lot.
True.
Okay.
And just any issue that makes me feel those warm fuzzies, and just I'll love it. I'll eat it all up. I'll take it over.
So is GOG lasting past Spencer's run? I suspect not.
Probably not. No, this has got Spencer's affinity for like bad villains on it. So I think GOG kind of semi-qualifies.
That's a hell of a legacy to leave behind.
Yeah.
Let's list other pros. JR, you gave it the lowest grade of all of them. What did you like?
Not a GOG damn thing.
Man, I miss JR's. I miss JR's pessimism.
What's your thoughts on JR having a pet? No, I mean Peter having a pet.
Drank 3 sizes that day.
Oh,
JR, what do you think of Peter having a pet?
There's a difference between having a pet and then, I'm thinking New York has to have exotic pet laws, right? And how is one allowed to own a member of a sentient alien species? Yeah. So it's again, I know we're talking about comic books, but even in comic books, there's got to be there's got to be a certain amount of logic, and there's absolutely no logic in Peter Parker being able to take home a member of an alien species.
It's going to be like Marvel's version of Lilo and Stitch.
Actually, I was going to say this is sort of like this could be Marvel's version of that one Friends episode, the Friends episode where Ross kept his pet lemur, and there was a whole issue about whether or not he should actually keep it because lemurs are you can't be keeping a lemur inside your apartment.
Was it a lemur or a chimpanzee? I thought it was
It was a lemur. I think it was some kind of a lemur.
No, it was like a monkey.
Oh yeah,
lemurs are lemurs are monkeys.
Yeah, but it wasn't a lemur. It was like it was a special. I'm trying to remember the time. It's the little tiny monkeys.
Oh, like a martinet or something, or
something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
In the $10 slot issue, he got a dog named Sandwich. Is that what I'm thinking of?
That sounds like something that Slot would think is clever.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember that.
You remember that? I barely remember it.
Yes, I remember that.
Peter took home an alien species that was a symbiote.
That is true.
Oh, true. Yeah, there you go.
It has a history.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but at that time though, Peter didn't have roommates, and the symbiote didn't sit by his side eating popcorn.
And technically, Peter did not actually take it home. It was actually Fred who took it home, which, by the way, was kind of weird. Why would Fred take it back with him?
It's a Fred thing. I can see.
I know. He's like, why would he think Peter would like this? Because he doesn't know Peter is Spider-Man, does he?
No. See, that's weird. The last 2 issues have made that seem really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Though, it could. So I'm not sure, but my thing is like, also too, we're not even talking about the fact that like Gog bit Randy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I saw Ryan's comments, and it's like, because I was making jokes with Ryan about Weregog. Randy is now going to turn into a Weregog.
Oh my god!
No, that's more. That's another clue that Randy is kindred. Because
So, George, you liked the issue quite a bit. What's your pros besides Gog?
I gave it a B+. I mean, at the end of the day, the 2-part Gog story was a good story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it had a lot of heart. It was a good story. At the end of the day, it's not a Spider-Man story.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and that's been my thing about it. I said that about the first part of the issue. I was like, it's good. It's not a Spider-Man story, or at the very most, like literally, you could put almost any other Marvel hero into this, and it still works.
Yeah.
So it's not a Spider-Man story. It doesn't mean I didn't like it. It's a good story. I'm just saying it's not a Spider-Man story.
I would agree in the fact that I wasn't so offended by the Gibbon issue, since it was like a 0.1 or it was a point, right?
Yeah.
Or who?
Actually, I thought the Gibbon issue was better than this. Actually,
I would agree.
But
it was a side story. It wasn't the main amazing book. Everything that is awesome should be in the amazing book.
Yeah, and I, so that's my pro. I mean, I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the artwork. I didn't, hate it. It's a good story. It's just not Spider-Man.
Kelly, you like? Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh no, Kelly first.
Okay, go ahead, Kelly. What's your pros? What do you like about it?
It's the same as the last issues and pros. It's a cute little story. It's a well-told story. The artwork's nice. Everything seems to be solid. Pacing issues are pretty decent. It's now a 2-part story about Gog, which now we know at the end why, because he is going to be integral to get those pieces and kind of move forward with the main story. But it's just like you guys said, it's not a Spider-Man story. This should be like if there were multiple titles, this would be a side story, like an Untold Tales or something to supplement the main Kindred story. And the fact that it's it feels a little disjointed.
It's kind of a filler episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Peter Palmer in chat says it's best. It belongs in a satellite title. And Adam says the fact that this was delayed for months didn't do it any favors.
I was going to get to that.
Find out what happened to Gog.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't waiting at the edge of your seat to find out what happened to Gog?
I was not. Oh no! Let's not call the Gog Pet Mayday. That's no, Matt.
I will say as my
now I'm mad.
Now I will say as my pro about
ahead,
this
Mike.
issue is that I like the fact that Ryan Otley returned to this, and I especially like the way when Gog is bursting out of the street and Spider-Man and Spidey's doing his whole spaghetti webbing because I love me some spaghetti webbing when going back to the McFarlane stuff. So I like the visual.
Otley in his Instagram or whatever, he's a big McFarlane fan, and he
you can tell
how he in the Torment, the Spider-Man #1 with the doom, and he had those tiny columns on the page with a lot of action in it, and he said that he was riffing McFarlane on that a little bit. So he's
you can tell. I mean, especially because there's a couple times where, especially when he's like webbing a Kingpin or trying to secure the buildings, you can see all those webbing spaghetti webbing thing going everywhere, and it's just I always find that Spider-Man having that kind of like that goopy kind of stringy looking webbing thing is always a neat little visual that not many artists do a lot, but they kind of should, because just to me, that's just kind of how his webbing should look. And as it comes out of the web shooters and stuff like that, I just like the visual aesthetics of the way that, especially the whole brawl and chaos above the street. So
Ashley, what made it an A-, not an A?
I think some of the the way they ordered some of the panels was weird. I thought it was very strange to open on the page they did, where we were suddenly jumping back just for the one page to
right here.
Gog's home planet, and then we're back in the sewer. If I remember right, the last issue had closed with them in the sewer, and I'm like, this first page feels like it should have been in the last issue.
Yeah,
so it kind of felt like a bit of a out of order to me. It's weird to cut back and forth so quickly right in your opening. It kind of threw off the drive of it.
Mike, I agree with you. That looks like McFarlane webbing if I've ever seen it.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
Webbing. Yeah, that's cool. Let's go to JR because we're going to be here a while with his cons. I want to hear JR's cons.
Let me get my pillow out and to get the wrestling here.
Well, first of all, there's no story here. There is absolutely no story here.
There's no Spider-Man story. There's a Gog story.
But even then, it's like, first of all, this has been a 3-parter when there's barely enough story for one. And when I was first looking at this on a tablet, I kept thinking about how odd some of the panels look. And I was thinking, well, of course, some of these panels are large to take up space because there's no story. So basically we have far more interesting stories going on elsewhere. We're not getting to them. Gog is utter. There is no need for Gog to even be involved. It's not even relevant. This was just created. God, this alien here has this tablet or is the keeper of this tablet. And, oh, by the way, this is probably at least a third different interpretation of this tablet and what it is and who created it. Like I said, I thought it was I don't know what it was when Silvermane had it and it regressed to a baby, but in the Lifeline miniseries, it was a product. It was Atlantean, but now this space alien has to guard it. So, and the tablet only had one use. I mean, the tablet has one use. The Kingpin wants it for its one particular use, and that use has been played. It's over. It's done. There's no need to have another tablet story. And the ending is, like I said, the ending is all this is like filler. This is just filler. Gog is not going to, and even the Sin Eater. I mean, we have one, like, what is it, 1 or 2 pages of the vault door?
That annoyed the heck out of me.
It's a waste. This is utter. Ryan Otley ought to be on top. He ought to get top billing for the story because he did the most work on it. Yeah. It's kind of like Ultimate Spider-Man should have been by Mark Bagley.
Yeah.
So you have no story of any substance. You continue to throw roadblocks into the progression of the far more interesting stories, and you have an ending that is not even congruous with this silly universe that we exist in, this comic book universe that they can just take an alien being home. It's almost like picking a kid off the I'm going to take this kid home with me. He's so cute. And we just, first of all, we just had this. I mean, one, it was like a million, it was like Godzilla sized and tearing up the city.
Godzilla.
Godzilla. But now it's small and harmless. So it doesn't even work within the strange internal logic of comic books. So I mean, it's an utter failure on all counts.
Ashley, do you have a rebuttal to JR about how it's not a Spider-Man story? It's filler. I mean,
there's no accounting for taste. Everyone has their preferences.
I would agree. I honestly agree. Soflo says JR nails it. Timothy says I'm waiting for JR to use the phrase "waiting for the trade."
Writing for the trade.
Writing for the
trade. He says writing for the trade there.
I will also address something that Adam Winchell, I believe, said earlier in the chat, where he said it seemed like it kind of felt like a disappointment with the waste. We had waited 2 months to get something like this. Now, to be fair, this was obviously made before the whole pencils down pandemic thing. I mean, so that can be helped. But at the same time, I did kind of feel that sense a little bit where it's like, I kind of wish there was something more to this thing. after 2 months. But again, that's something you can't really help. That's just a conditional thing. But I do think, JR, you do have a point in the sense that, one, it does seem a little bit nonsensical that they would just go ahead and take Gog home, and it's just without, like, nobody really asked questions like, oh, where did this come from? Why did Fred bring it home? Why would he think Peter would like this thing? Does he know that Peter is Spider-Man and all that stuff? And
does
then
the landlord allow pets?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. And then the other thing is,
let alone the sentient alien beings to reside in that building.
And then the other thing was those last 2 pages, which I don't think Otley drew, but it was supposed to be a setup for whatever is coming with the Sin Eater and everything like this. And I was like looking at this thing, it's like, okay, yeah, we're just staring at this vault door until it like blows up or something. I had no context of what that was supposed to be referencing to. Why it was so important we focus on this vault door? What is supposed to be the big deal about this thing? It just seemed like, okay, yeah, if you're going to have something that's going to tease the readers about this, can you at least show us what's in the vault door? Besides, just blow it up and just have like nothing but 8 silent panels of the singer just standing outside waiting for this something to happen.
If I can interject real quick about the vault door. What seems kind of weird about it too, it's the kind of cliffhanger we get a lot with like TV shows and movies, like in video, and it feels like they're trying to do that same thing, but it doesn't work.
No, because exactly, it doesn't, because there's a mentality, I think, with some certain comic book creators that's saying, oh, if we can mimic comics to be more like movies, then therefore that was going to draw readers, and it doesn't always work that way.
Right. You can't always cross mediums.
Well, it's a different. It's a completely different medium. When you're writing for TV, you have to think of it in movements, like how they're going to move from one side of the stage to the other, et cetera, et cetera. When you have comics, it's not done like that. So certain movements and certain ideas don't always translate. So
I mean, if this had been like a one-part amusing story in the midst of, because I mean, when you think about what's going on in the background, Kindred, it's a fairly serious, intense thing. The Sin Eater, obviously a very serious, intense thing. I mean, if this were like a one-parter that was kind of a breather between these very emotional and dramatic stories, then it would kind of make more sense. It would be kind of a safety valve or something like that. But it was 3 parts, so it didn't even function. So it's not that this type of story doesn't have any value. I mean, come on. I mean, we all seen like filler issues or one-parters or whatever, which are just kind of meant to, let the main story breathe a little bit or a little more momentum to build. So it's not, I'm not saying this type of story is not legitimate, but over 3 issues when we're all waiting for something else to happen. So it's,
I think back in the day, the Jerry Conways and the Roger Stearns didn't have to produce 2 issues a month.
No.
I think when you have to produce 2 issues a month, it makes you have some, I got to pad something out. And I think
it doesn't necessarily have to be, because if you're doing 2 issues a month, then technically you're doing arguably doing 2 years worth of comics. So technically it should, your resolutions, I would argue, should come sooner.
I don't know about that. I think it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to say that there's more editorial pressure nowadays to have bigger events happen on like more milestone issues. Like I think y'all have mentioned, building up to issue 850. That's probably where we're going to get back on track and have more of the meat of the story and see much more momentum leading up to that, because they're like, okay, we'll have something big for 800. We'll set up something big for 850. So now you have 50 issues that you have to fill up with both, setting up the big event that'll happen on the milestone, but then you have a lot more gaps that you have to fill. And so that's
true.
More filler now.
It looks like this is the next one. This is 845.
I don't want to see that, Brad.
Oh, sorry. That's not good for a future issue.
How many legs do you think are in that picture?
And we won't get another. How many legs are in that picture?
I count 6. I'm gonna just randomly guess, like jelly beans in a jar. That it's.
We should set up a contest.
It's at least 65.
65.
So someone in chat said they're probably building up to 850. So they
they definitely are.
So to get to 850, we have to pad it out with some GOG issues, JR, is what I suspect. And we won't get this issue until July 15th of 2020, which sounds so far away. Man.
I guess crazy. Because they have to restart the press. I guess
I will have been 48 for almost 2 weeks by the time that happened.
What date is it coming out again?
July 15th.
Oh, the next issue?
Oh, yeah.
The next issue
is in July 2020.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the presses need to be serviced first because they've been down for a while.
When I read this issue, I noticed in the fine print at the bottom, it said the print date, and they printed this obviously before the shutdown. So they had these in the warehouse. Very much so. They had these in the warehouse somewhere. I think it's funny on YouTube chat. Oh man, there's so many comments. Here, let me scroll up.
Just to relate that,
Devil Breaker says, "I'm 47 minutes in. Did I miss much?"
You missed
all. Palmer goes, "Nah, not really, man. Just a bunch of GOG puns. Good GOG jokes." And the Devil Breaker says, "Oh God damn it."
Funny you should mention that, Brad, because Neil and I we saw it when we were chatting the other day. He pointed out that there was an issue of one of the recent issues of one of the X-Men issues, and you look in the back of them, and they have a list of like, oh, here are the comics coming out, and they show like, oh, here are the comics coming out April 15th.
Yeah,
and you can tell, you can kind of tell that they definitely had the when they did the pencils down, shut off the presses and everything like this, they did not, go back and do any edits or anything.
Yeah,
when they re-released comics.
Yep. Actually, random internet weirdo. It's a Deadpool shirt. Easily confused. Let's see. Spencer has frittered away every goodwill. Frequent narrative wheel spinning is what Marlon said.
I don't think that's entirely fair.
No, I don't feel like that's very fair.
Especially if you're going. Especially if you're going to Ashley's point about how you have to pad if he's trying to pad, if he's deliberately trying to pad things out until you get to those milestone issues. I think
those decisions are under.
A couple of GOG fill-in issues does not negate all the cool stuff that Spencer's done.
I would agree.
Yeah. Let's slow your roll right there. That's
right. How about the 300-part Central Park story? With all the .1 issues and everything.
Yeah. What's funny about that Craven story? I forgot what the title of that was.
I don't blame the writer for that though, JR.
Yeah.
But he's the only one we can blame, right? I mean,
editorial. Adam was talking about editorial is making things padded.
I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot to that.
And that's not. I don't even blame Nick Lowe for that. I blame Cebulski for that.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I could agree.
Then what Spencer needs is almost like a writing partner, more or less. I mean, because we've seen that. I think we've seen that one writer cannot write a multitude of Spider-Man comics within the time frame we need. More or less.
I think that one writer can when he takes a break from trying to tell the internet that it's wrong. All right, and Spencer's actually a quality writer and can do quality work and turn it in on time, and he doesn't need a Christos Gage because he's focused on actually working and not fighting with people on the internet.
Writing a novel on Twitter,
right?
Yeah,
and that's why Nick Spencer can actually get it done, unlike Dan Slott.
Anthony has a nice comment. He has a letter printed in Venom number 25.
Nice.
Oh, congrats, man!
Congrats on that, man.
I mean, I was also going to say that Slott, at least Spencer got to his job, rightfully and didn't lie.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
And then brag about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timothy has a good point that the calculation 2 times amazing a month sells more than 1 times amazing and 1 time spectacular, which I would agree. Back in the 80s, this GOG thing would have been in spec or actually probably web.
This would have been in web.
Yeah, web.
Yeah, it would have been in web.
This would have been in web.
If it does go back to the point that GOG is actually instrumental in finding the rest of these tablets things, and if the tablet thing does tie into Kindred somehow, which I think it kind of does.
I think it will, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of Spencer's strengths too, taking otherwise irrelevant filler and giving it a job to do in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's an important thing to do as a writer.
I'm hoping this is one of these fillers where at the end we'll find out that it was important and it wasn't just all filler, but we don't know yet because we're not there.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of evidence that Spencer's a very efficient storyteller, and he's very good at using what's in his toolkit to good effect.
Mm-hmm.
Devil Breaker's asking about the DC Diamond divorce. That's our next podcast. We're about to wrap this up. Let me just get through the rest of these comments, and we can do final thoughts on this one. Yes, Peter Palmer. We will do that in Spider News. My gosh, these comments are coming in fast.
Hey, they haven't had a comics for 2 months, Brad. I mean,
I know they're quarantined. They want
to talk. Everybody wants to talk about it.
Many writers have said editors do tell them to pad the books, which sucks for $4. Is what is writing. Adam says, "Preach, George." I don't know what he was referencing, but
that's I was talking about Slott. Having to have a backup writer because he couldn't keep focused and stay off the internet. That's when I was doing that. Everyone was like, "Preach, George." Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Getting to the comments,
George. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw, but the marriage annual is getting reprinted. And I was wondering if you guys think this could be teasing a future marriage, or do you think it's just coincidence?
They want cash, and they know people.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a coincidence, but I don't think we're getting another marriage. We talk about that in Satellites, which y'all should sign up for Patreon so y'all can listen to the Satellite.
First of all, nice plug. Second of all, probably some of you guys know this better than I this, but what's the status of the Amazing Mary Jane series at this point?
Probably digital, but no one said yet officially.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know whatever the future of it depends on what's happened in that issue is. Could be like, would Mary Jane eventually come back to the main series too?
Leah Williams basically thought it ended at 5. And you can tell in 6 how quickly she had to flip to that second story. I don't foresee that being anything other than fluff. It might be a fun ride once she kind of gets going, but it won't have anything to do with the main story.
Right.
Matt says, "Do you guys think Marvel Comics would likely should have kept comics being printed from crowdfunding? Would work out for us readers and fans?"
No.
Well, because again, you're still. I mean, even if it's going to be an all digital format, you still need something physical in order to print. Yeah. So, I mean, there was just no getting away around this about putting the pencils down and shutting the presses off when the pandemic first started. So, there was. What were you going to do?
So, in my memory, I can't remember. We've just reviewed one issue on a podcast, and we were right. This took an hour.
There you go.
Yeah. We probably would have gone through it. I mean, gone through it. Gone through it a little quicker if we had more issues. But
or maybe if we hadn't wedged in 10,000 puns.
Well, they
were like quality.
Well, we haven't had the episode, George.
Like the Flintstones said, I think we all had a goggled time. So. But it was a great hour. I would agree, Ryan. Stick around. There's more GOG puns, more GOG news coming up. GOG getting a one-shot. I don't know. Anyway,
a better-looking guy coming in to substitute for me.
Yeah, Mike, it was good to see you. We haven't had you on a while.
I know. I missed you guys.
Yeah,
I missed you guys. Man. I miss doing this, man. This is fun. I didn't realize how much I missed the comics until I came back on here and did this. It was a blast. It was a blast. And you guys are great. You guys are awesome. And so are all of our YouTube listeners and commentators. And
So 40 people. We're losing them. 38 people. We're going to be back in 10 minutes, and we're going to do Spider News. I've got some weird ones for JR as usual.
I have good stories, guys. I went and tried to scoop some stuff. So
Kelly
I have some
Diamond
stuff.
and the DC debate. She's leading that discussion.
Yep.
Some other topics. What else we got? We got Jonah Jameson and the movies, etc.
Yep.
So we got back in 10 minutes. Look on our Facebook and YouTube. I will hit the broadcast and we'll be back. All right. Want to do final thoughts, everybody? Or are we good?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not. Are they our final thoughts? I mean, we're coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, everybody. We'll be back in 10.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. And again,